Well, hello friends. I'm actually recording this part after the next part because I've just realized I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Julie Norman and I put out planner and planner related videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. And today I'm using a traveler's notebook planner insert to show you about my scripture copying. And I forgot to mention this, I use the NIV Study Bible. And that is by Conundrum, and it has just been the Bible version that I've been using for many, many years, and I like it because it's a thought-for-thought version. It just works for me, and there's so many versions out there. You use what works for you, what speaks to you best, and there's no judgment there. That's why there's all these different versions of the Bible. And also, before we get started, I just want to apologize for the video that came out on Tuesday. Something went wrong with it, and the video I have on my laptop is fine, but not the one that was uploaded to YouTube. Something went wonky, and I will try to re-upload that so you can see the whole one. Okay, so let's go. Hello friends, it's Julie Norman, and today we're going to go into the third book of my scripture copying, and I will link either above or in the description the other two videos on this. And basically what it is taking the Bible and copying it out word for word. And I've been doing this in my morning devotional time, and it's really been one of my favorite parts of the morning, still is. So let's just page through and I'll tell you a little bit of my insights. This was Exodus chapters 4 through 33, and the theme is Show Me Your Glory. So that is what I wrote on the front. This is an Erin Condren traveler's notebook. Well, they call them petite folios, I think, but they're basically a traveler's notebook, and it is in the A5 size. Well, A5-ish, it's a little bit different. And I started it off with using some stickers from the Antiquarian sticker book, and how I do it is I leave a margin and I put any notes or questions I have as I go in the margins. So we have the chapters. And this is going through with Moses, and it starts with the Pharaoh and the plagues. And boy, that was kind of interesting to go through it like this in light of going through the pandemic right now, because it kind of gave me a little bit more empathy for the Israelites, thinking about all these things that they're going through. I mean, when they had like the water they couldn't drink, and then the bugs that would come in, and the darkness and all of the things on top of each other, it would have been really difficult because you don't have any really weird place to go. Your food's gone, your water's gone. It just was really interesting. Another thing that was kind of interesting is that I always thought that the staff that did all the miracles was Moses' staff, but actually in parts here God refers it to as Aaron's staff. So I don't know if they had two or one, or what happened there, and it doesn't really define it, but that was kind of interesting. One of the things I did here was I added washi tape either at the top and the bottom alternately. And I did eventually get some washi tape, it'll change here, that was specifically for this. And it's a thinner washi tape, so I had more room to write, and I thought it would take more of the theme of what was going on here. Okay, here's a question that I have. It says that in one of the plagues, all of the livestock was killed, but then again, there's livestock. So I don't know what happened there, if it wasn't all the livestock, or did they acquire the livestock from Goshen where the Israelites were. It was just kind of interesting. The Israelites were starting at ground zero again. They really were, with their relationship with God. Because not only did Pharaoh forget about Joseph, but the people forgot about Joseph almost, about where they came from. And it's almost like calling them out and giving a reboot. So it was I thought that was interesting. Okay. Oh, here's where I had my accident. I had, it was coffee, and it spilled all over, and I tried to get it up as much as I could. At this point, I wasn't going to go and abandon this book unless it was really bad. But so I let it dry, and yeah, it did leave a stain. But you know, some people do coffee stain their paper, so to make it look old. And I guess That's what I kind of did here. But it's a little wrinkly, but it was doing okay. But, kind of thinking about those monks who their life was copying the scripture out word for word. And what if they had an accident or they did a mistake? I have whiteout that I can use, but they didn't have it, or maybe they wouldn't have used it even if they did have it. So that was kind of like, that would be really a bad day to have a mistake. And here I was using my colored pencil to highlight here. Oh, I love this. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And that verse is often quoted for when somebody is facing something really significant in their life, even though most of us nowadays are not Israelites, and we're not facing the Pharaoh like they did then, but it is still significant. One of those verses that just like, yeah, look what God's going to do. And now we're out of Egypt. They have celebrated. They were fed quail. I saved that sticker for that purpose. Something that was interesting that I noticed, and I wouldn't have noticed it without copying, was that a lot of times, it'll come up here, and it'll be more towards the end of this book, was that a lot of times when a paragraph would start with a quotation mark, but the quotation mark did not end. So that was kind of interesting, the way that they wrote, they had translated the Bible into that way. Because it has always been, to me, where you always have an ending quotation, but it seemed like it would be a quotation mark, here's a paragraph, quotation mark, the paragraph. So that was kind of interesting. I don't know what kind of grammar that is. So if anybody has insight, I'd like to hear that. The 10 Commandments. Now we're up on Mount Sinai. Okay, I guess I didn't cue in, but, oh, hey, there is no washi tape on this page. I must have skipped that one. But I got this washi tape. It's like a copper one. It's a thin one. And there was a set of like 4 or 5 of them. So it starts with this one. Because that one to me looks a little more Egyptian than the other ones where you've got the angles. And then it went into the stripes later on, which kind of remind me of like tent walls or something. I don't know. It's just me going through this. Again, I'm so enjoying doing this in the morning, and it seems like the more that I write, the more that I want to write. And it is my intention to continue and finish the whole Bible, even though I'm still only in the 2nd book of the Bible. And I know there are places where it's going to be a slog and hard to get through it all. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought so far. Doing all about make this out of this and make that out of that, and it wasn't so bad. Oh, there was something. Shoot. Anyways, when the making of the tabernacle, maybe it's coming up, there is a spot where they say to make purple pomegranates. And there is a book that I read about art in the Bible, and they said this purple pomegranates do not come naturally in purple. So that is proof that you don't have to be a literal artist. Sometimes you can embellish. God actually inspired people to make purple pomegranates, something that was not found in nature. And I don't know much more about that and how that happened, but that was a really interesting thing. The golden calf, a very sad chapter with the Israelites, but then again, they had been living with the Egyptians for so long they had forgotten, and they probably did not practice, strict Israelite laws and stuff, and they didn't have the 10 Commandments yet, too, so how can you keep them accountable to that? But although they probably shouldn't have done it anyway. So, that is the end, and I did date this time to say that the day that I completed it on. So now I'm done with my 3rd one. I have already started my 4th, which I decided to use this notebook, and this is another Erin Condren. And the reason why I chose this one is that this has lined pages, and it has this margin in the side. I just chose this one because I want to use up these A5 books for this, and I did put my start date, and I will put my end date when I'm done. And I did cover up the air. I forgot what this was called, but it came in one of the prize boxes, and it had this quote, which, whatever, I just covered up with a mosaic sticker, and I started writing it, and I thought I was going to write, line by line, but once I started writing it, I realized I wanted to write much smaller than the lines had defined. So it's kind of interesting that my writing has gotten smaller with that, even though I like to read bigger font, but it seems like that works. And it kind of, going this way, I thought it would be harder to read, but since the lines are lighter, light gray, it doesn't show so much as I write. I think it looks alright. So that I'm now into chapter 35, and this one I'll be working on for a little while now. I have my cover and my first two books. Oops, are these upside down? Yep, they are. So I have my first scripture writing journal, which was Genesis 1 through 31. My second one, which was Genesis 31, the second half to Exodus 4. And I'm going to do some statistics sometime about how long it takes me to do one, like the time-wise, and how much of the Bible is, so I can kind of estimate how long it's going to take me to finish. So let's see here, I'll do this one is my next string. And then when I'm done with this one, this will complete my 4-book here. So that is how my scripture journaling is going. And this has just been such a wonderful thing. I mean, and still again, I would encourage you to try it if you haven't tried it already. Let me know if you have tried it, given it a try. You can just do a chapter. You don't have to do the whole Bible. You can do a book. I mean, Book of James would be really easy. What is that, like one chapter? Or just try something. Maybe start from one of the Gospel. The Book of John is such a good Gospel book. It has so much in it. That would be a good one to start. You don't have to complete it. You can just do as little or as much as you want. There's something about the writing, and I also read it out loud as I do it, because then it cements into my memory just a little bit more, and I can think about it. It's just a slower pace, and because it's so slow, you can't help but to think about it more and see it in a new way. And so I just encourage you to try it a little bit. Maybe try it for a week. You have to lose. I mean, it's winter here in the U.S., so we're not going anywhere very fast. So you might be homebound a little bit more too, although who knows. Thank you so much for watching, and have a joyful day. Goodbye. Postscript P.S. Guys, this holiday season, back in November I said, let's skip Thanksgiving and everything, and let's go into Christmas. And then I didn't get my Christmas stuff out till maybe a week ago. I don't know what's up with me. Maybe it's a lack of energy or motivation. I wanted to write my Christmas letters out. This is a Christmas card that we are giving out this year. I just thought it was fitting because it's Charlie Brown Christmas. That's how it feels like the year is, like everything bad happened to Charlie Brown, but yet he had a great message in his play. Oh, I should move this. And I had visions of making a nice letter. Maybe I'd make a crossword puzzle or a word find or handwrite notes. Maybe I'd make something to put into it. And here it is, a week before Christmas, and I haven't made a letter out. I feel so unmotivated by writing a Christmas letter. And I don't really just want to send this out signed, but should I? I don't know. Oh, there's 2 of these here. But I don't know. I'm just feeling like, I mail these letters, these cards out to people. A lot of them, some of them I do keep in contact during the year, and some of them I don't. Sometimes I feel like Christmas cards, it's nice to keep in touch with people once during the year. Okay. And just to keep it that touch of, hey, how you doing? But then how effective is this? I mean, it's just a card, or it's just a photo. I didn't do the photo cards this year. Do you give Christmas cards? Do you send them to people? And if so, do you send them to everyone or a few people? I mean, what's the point if you know people? A lot of my nieces and nephews, I found, they don't send Christmas cards. And one of them even said, wow, you send a Christmas card to everyone? Every year she said she's never heard of that before. She married into the family. And so it's like, is this something that is passe where people don't do it anymore, or is it just isolated incidents of people not doing Christmas cards. So just just my thoughts. I'm just getting philosophical about Christmas cards and letters, maybe because I don't feel like writing one, and sharing, personal things to people that I only I only sent a Christmas card to, and so then I think, well, why do I do that? So who knows? Maybe this might be the end of Christmas cards for a lot of people. Maybe I'm going to take a lot of people off my list this year and be a Scrooge, or who knows. So that's my thoughts for today, Christmas cards, because like in my planner, it's been on my list of things I need to do, and here it is. It's like I ordered them, I didn't write the letter, I put the postage on. No, I think I'm just going to mail them, otherwise they're never going to get out there. Maybe I'm just feeling a little bit feisty this year about everything, and I'll be okay later. So thank you so much for watching to the end, and I would love to hear your thoughts on the Christmas card. Thanks for watching, and have a joyful day. Goodbye.